about what's going on here. We have a daughter talking to her mother over a cell phone for weeks on end, not sure about how they're going to get to whatever points of connection that looks like because of the decisions of federal administration, which, let me be clear, is not uniquely a Republican problem, right? We know that Democrats are the ones that also pushed deportation in the last election cycle. We know that even if Kamala Harris was the president today, folks would still be deported and separated from their families. We know that, right? And I also think that we have to be extremely disciplined, not just when we're here, but when we're not here too.
That's right.
That's right.
We have to be. Our movements require discipline. If you can't get disciplined here right now, when there are real people in a cage, how the hell are we ever going to get to a place where we can actually confront a colonial empire? Do we understand what we're doing? I hope that we understand what we're doing. And I hope that, more importantly, we understand the intersections that that's going to require of us.
Yeah.
That we got to be disciplined in our ideology. You can't be out here if you think that some people should be deported. Let me say that again. Nobody should be deported. I don't give a damn if you are a violent criminal. I don't give a damn if you have a criminal offense. I don't care what it was. Nobody deserves to be separated from their family. Nobody deserves to be locked inside of a cage and given menial health care and nutrition. Nobody.
That's right.
Nobody.
That's right.
I hope that as much as our ideological discipline can have a role, we are also disciplined with our finances. Look, I know that folks are going to go out to eat after this. I know that folks think that $1 don't mean shit, but we have kids up here talking to their mother through a cell phone, and the least that you can do is buy a t-shirt.
That's right.
The least that you can do. We're talking about a family being confronted with thousands of dollars of legal fees, thousands of dollars, so that they can keep their mother with them for 4 children that are going to be here. The least that you can do is to support families that are actually inside.
Yeah.
The least that you can do is help them fight in court. The least that you can do. When you go back to your 1-bedroom apartment that costs $1,700 in Denver, right? Like, look, we know what it is too, right? I get, when we're working class folks, it seems like it's a little bit harder. But I hope that you know that it wasn't too long ago that for 12 years folks didn't eat grapes because they didn't want farm workers sprayed with pesticides in California.
Yeah.
I hope that you know that Starbucks is on their knees because we told to stop going because we don't agree with genocide. I hope that you know that not spending your money in places that aren't interested in hiring people like us is having a material impact on the future of our economic conditions, so that those things are not beholden to billionaire investors, but instead the working class people who actually shop and buy their products. Do we know that? And to close, because I can get on a soapbox, you feel me?
Come on, man.
But I'm a teacher. You can't give a teacher a microphone, you feel me?
Tell it.
To close, I would offer a historical perspective. That this is not the first time that the United States has enacted mass deportations of people who look like me, who got last names like mine. Folks that are undocumented might be whatever version that the United States has turned into a boogeyman now. That's Jeanette. That's Kilmar Abrego Garcia. That's Mahmoud Khalil.
Right.
That's all kinds of different folks. And I hope that you know that as much as we are against a deportation machine and we are pro-immigrants, that's not just a Latino issue either.
Right.
We're against any deportation of any immigrant from any place in the world, because the historical perspective teaches us that there's not shit that's romantic about having to pick up your family and march across a continent so that you can possibly pay enough money to put food on the table. That is a direct consequence from the United States imperial colonial policies in places like Guatemala, in places like Venezuela, in places like El Salvador, in places like Palestine, in places like Congo, in places like Sudan, in places all over this world. You cannot just take an ahistorical perspective and say, I'm against it because of this one person. You have to know your ideology, your finances, all of this. When you go home today, when you paid taxes last week, you paid more for Bob's in Palestine than you did for health care of undocumented people here today.